Previously on Convos with Your Mom's Favorite.
Like,
Hey.
Crypto got a lot of backlash because fans were just not happy with his design. And I'm like, what are you expecting a dog from a different planet
It's
to look like?
And it's 2025. We're far past the Airbuds and
Yeah.
the Beethovens.
Exactly.
He's a super dog. We're gonna CGI a super dog. Let's be real here.
Like,
he looks dog enough.
Yes.
That they put the Superman cape on him. He looks great. I thought he looked great.
I think he looks amazing. Like, I had no problem with Crypto. I was like you. The fact that we finally get Crypto the Super Dog in a movie.
In a movie.
In a movie.
Right.
Like a major movie, too.
Major movie.
Not like, the animated movies, because he's been in those. But like, we're finally, a live action Superman movie is getting Crypto. You've got me there.
Right.
James Gunn is directing the movie.
Yes.
You've got me there.
I was like, I'm in.
I'm in.
You sold me.
You mean the man who did 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies, arguably one of Marvel's greatest trilogies.
Right.
You mean the guy who did the Suicide Squad, which was miles better than Suicide Squad.
Right. Exactly.
That guy
Yeah. I was like,
is,
I'm in.
sure. You've told me enough.
He could direct an AT&T commercial, and I would be in.
Yes.
I would.
Me just speculating who is going to be in this film, because now we can't just get a regular Marvel movie without some sort of surprise cameo in it.
Right.
I think they should go back to regular and like not do that as much.
Why do you say that?
Because now again, it's like I've always felt that in intertwining everything, you've kind of like ruined the individuality of a movie. Because like when X-Men came out, even though like it might have taken place and like parts of it took place in New York, Spider-Man was right down the street. Like Tobey Maguire was right down the street while the X-Men were filming, but their worlds never crossed over. Like I get like, and now I don't have to watch, like I didn't have to go see Spider-Man 1 and 2 before I saw X2.
Right.
Because those movies had absolutely nothing to do with each other.
Right.
I love the fact, like, I want them to go back to that, because there are certain things in certain movies that I would skip.
Okay.
Because I've said it on this pod, and your dad used to kill me every time.
Yeah.
I would have skipped WandaVision.
Why?
Because neither one of them.
And that, as a fan, that drove me nuts.
The thing with him is, right, he would have them too.
As if our dads.
Yes. Both of our dads.
Both of our dads.
Like this, like it's not like something we just picked up.
No,
that like we just, we just start collecting stuff.
We weren't just kids; we were influenced.
Yes, we were products of our environment. Products of our environment, because both our dads we see action figure. I like that. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, easy peasy. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times, girl, like. When I was a kid and I'd be over here, and for the few times that I was, and it wouldn't be a like a house tour.
Yeah,
it'd be an upstairs event. But oh man, would I eye the basement door,
because that room over there,
the gold mine, that was down here, and the pristine setup that it was. And I'm like, how did you do that? I thought this was for kids.
Right.
I thought this was a kid thing. And he's like, and no, nothing on it. Just, it's like Star Trek, Matrix. So, okay, cool. You kind of can see it. But the Matrix and like the droid setup and everything. I'm like, you guys don't get, one, how old those are. Mm-hmm. Like how old? Because I'm 27, turning 28 in July. Probably since I was 6.
Yeah,
those have been around.
Yeah,
and I'm like maybe before that those have been around, because that's Matrix. It looks like 3. I think that's Matrix Revolution. Revelations, which came out maybe 2004. Like, and I'm like, yeah, those have been around for that long. 21 years, if we got to conceptualize it. Yeah. 21 years those have been around. And I'm like, I could be a 27-year-old adult I could be a 27. Yes. I'm going to buy the action figure.
Yes.
And I don't catch myself playing with them, but I am following in the steps of my father.
Yep. And now they just they sit up somewhere.
They sit up somewhere, and I get to look at them, and I get to go. I remember where I was and what that meant to me.
Yeah.
And my dad's thing was comic books, so a lot of his things were either movie reference or comic books. But my thing is anime, and so all of the anime memorabilia that I have in my room, anime and video game memorabilia that I have in my room, is all his fault.
It's all their fault. It's all their fault. Yep.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, honey. Blame my dad.
Yeah, man. Because when we were at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And you walked over with the Buster Saber.
Mind you,
I was like, yeah.
That they scammed me for. Because although hung up in the designated space in my apartment, okay. Lovingly, proudfully, it's survived a move that happened maybe 2 years after we went to Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it's being taken care of, which just matters the most to me. I got to preserve my things. But it was funny when I bought it, because immediately I just looked at it and I was like, I have to have that. Who doesn't have to have that? It's that's the Buster Sword.
Yeah.
It's not metal, because that would be 450,000 pounds.
Yeah.
But that scaling, I'm like, that's the Buster Sword. I need that, and I don't know how I'm gonna get it home.
Right. We'll figure it out.
I need it. I need it right now. And the guy, I had to haggle, because I think he threw some egregious number at me. I think he was like 300. And I was like, listen, man, I got $200, and I'm probably a bigger fantasy fan than you are. I'm like, work with me here, work with me. And he was like, nah, 300. And I was like, I can't do that, man. Like, I'm like, whatever your business, your politics, whatever, you do what you can. And I was began to walk away, and he was like, all right, fine, like 200. And I was like, 200 in the moment made sense. So I was like, 200 I could afford.
Yeah.
Zelled him to 200, got my Buster Sword, happiest kid on the block. And then I wish I knew the voice that whispered in my ear, check and see how much it cost on Amazon.
No.
He would have gotten $200 extra out of me, but he only got $100 extra out of me. So he made 100% profit.
Wow.
Off of me that day.
That is ridiculous.
And from that moment on, I was like, you know what, man, I can't go in there a happy kid anymore. I'm super glad I got to experience Comic-Con for the first time ever, because what a dream.
Yeah.
What a dream it's been to just go to a Comic-Con, but just to see an environment where a lot of my interests are just absolutely glorified and inflated right in front of me. I got to stand under a live, or as life-sized as you could get, because you would need all the space in the world, but a really massive Shenron statue. I'm like, this is heaven. I'm like, this is heaven for me. And I was really excited. I wore my Flying Nimbus soccer jersey that I got off a box lunch, and I was like, yep. Going with my dad made me feel like an 8-year-old again. Mm-hmm. And him just like, I think at one point I'm holding his hand. Like, I felt like such a kid again, and that was so fulfilling for me. And but yeah, I was like, at the end of it all, I was like, all right, now that the dust is settled, fooled me once.
Yeah.
You fooled me, can't get fooled again.
Can't get fooled again.
You can't get fooled again. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna see what I like, and then I'm gonna check it on Amazon. And if it matches up, then I'm like, all right, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'll buy it. But I did get some cool stuff. The Buster Sword being the best thing, probably my best adult purchase in the past 5 years.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was more than kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was really cool. That was really cool.
Or it was, I don't know if that was that year, because it was October. I don't know if that was that year that Will got the Arkham Knight leather jacket.
Yes.
I'm like, I got one upped. I was like, where in the building were you that you could acquire that?
Yeah.
And how much did that cost? Because I might just want to go see. Yeah. I might want to go inspect. But that was cool. And then I saw a bunch of action figures, like the old Marvel Legends action figures.
Yes.
Like I saw, and I'm looking at some of them, and I'm like, I at one point in life owned a lot of those, like the Nightcrawler one, the Ghost Rider one, the Colossus one, the Thor, like, and I'm like, I was like, yeah, no, this is heaven. I was like, this place is utter heaven.
Yeah, Comic-Con is amazing. I think I might go this year.
When was the last time you went?
I want to say that year, the last year we all went.
The last year we all went was the last time you went?
That was the last time I'm going.
Yeah, that was a while ago now.
Yeah.
I think that was like 2021.
Yeah.
2020 or 2021, yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time I went to a Comic-Con.
Cool.
But yeah, so let's talk about some anime.
Please.
Let's talk about some anime.
Please.
Because I will admit, I am, how do I put it? I don't want to say late to the genre, right?
Okay.
But I will say I left for a while.
Okay.
Well, like I just stopped watching for a while. Mm-hmm. But then recently I have come back and I'm like, yeah, this stuff it's just as good, even better.
Right.
Than I remember it, like when I would watch it growing up.
Right.
Because just, again, shout out to Toonami and Cartoon Network for being the catalyst to bring anime to me.
Right.
And to like bring me into this genre of just fantastic television.
Right.
Because I still have yet to see anything else replicate what they've been able to accomplish with their way of storytelling.
Right.
And when I wanted to come back into it, I was like, what are some of, I was looking for recommendations.
Okay.
As to like, how do I start?
Who did you go to?
I went to my friend Dennis. I think you've met this.
Yes.
Yeah, Dennis.
Yeah.
I went to him because he was still like very much into anime. And he was like, I was like, I just want to like, try to dip my foot back in and see like, what, if there's anything. And he was like, oh, cool. Start with My Hero Academia. And then once you,
great first watch.
He was like, once you get there, he was like, if you like that, then start Attack on Titan.
Heftier watch.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he said, start with My Hero Academia and then go to Attack on Titan. But I don't know. I don't know what made me not watch it in that order, but I started with Attack on Titan.
Honestly, you and like listening to the podcast, yeah, good call.
Yeah,
with you being as like big of a Game of Thrones fans as you are,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, good call. Because I think I would have recommended Attack on Titan for you, like Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist, or anything along those lines. But go ahead.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I started, started Attack on Titan, loved it.
Great.
Especially because I was sitting there the episode and Aaron's in the Titan's mouth and I'm like, he's the main character. Absolutely no way he's dying.
Of course.
And then he gets eaten and I'm like, holy crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This show's going to be different.
Yeah.
This show's going to be different. And then loved it.
Yeah.
A little sad it's over, but whatever. It had one of the longest final seasons, I think, of any show ever.
That final season felt like 3 seasons.
Yes.
In like 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I started watching My Hero Academia and I was like, this is actually really amazing too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Attack on Titan was great. I love Attack on Titan, but the superhero aspect, I think, is what made me love My Hero Academia more.
Right.
Being like, you know, a comic book superhero movie fan.
Yes, exactly.
My Hero Academia is just like, yep. It's just, it ties right along into all of that.
Yes.
And so I started watching that and I'm like, yeah, this show is great. And then I think I started watching it on like Hulu because Hulu had it first.
Yes.
And then I'm like, okay, this show is cool. And then don't hate me, but it was dubbed.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not one of those purists.
Yeah.
That are like subbed over, dubbed, blah blah blah. Because I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan.
Yeah.
I refuse to watch Dragon Ball Z subbed. I will, if I have to.
Right.
Because I'm watching sub-dubbed Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
But if I can, I'm gonna watch it dubbed.
Yeah, because
maybe I want to go on my phone.
Right.
For like 5 minutes, and
Like,
but I don't want to miss. I don't speak Japanese,
Right?
Like, so I'm like, I can't.
I get it 100%.
If I'm watching subbed, I got to be 1,000% dialed in because I'm reading and watching at the same time.
Yeah,
and so it's like if I could do dubbed, I'm gonna do dubbed.
Yeah.
I don't crap on anybody who's like dubbed. Like I watch dubbed. I'm like, please.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I started watching it dubbed, but then I think they only had like maybe 2 seasons.
Yeah.
At that time, and I was like, oh, but there's more. I know there's more.
Right.
So then I'm like, I need to find out where the more is. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I was put onto Crunchyroll.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay,
it's all there.
Now we're here. Because now it's just like, you've got so many.
Yeah.
So many different animes to choose from.
Right.
Over there at Crunchyroll. Love them over there at Crunchyroll.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
They're doing a great job.
They're doing a good job over there.
Especially because, one, it's not just television.
Yeah.
The fact that you can buy merch and things over there too. I'm like, you guys are doing it all.
Yeah.
And you're doing a pretty good job at like pulling off both.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. So but they didn't have it dubbed on Crunchyroll. So I was like, all right, cool, fine. I don't really care. The voices not being the same is a little bothersome.
Yeah.
But after a couple episodes, you get used to it.
Right.
But instantly fell in love with All Might. Because I'm just like, you are the quintessential superhero.
Yes. You are when you are you are the quintessential. It's like you're the quintessential superhero, but it's like you are the embodiment of the word.
Yeah.
Like you are the embodiment of the word super hero. When you think of a hero, you think of somebody lighthearted, you think of somebody smiley, and All Might is all of that plus a million.
Yes.
You are because there's the rankings, you are the number one superhero.
Yeah.
And he held that title through and through.
Absolutely. And I loved his character. One, like, I still say it now when like I'm like doing something and I'm like a bit tired and I'm like, nah, we've got to like bit of a nerd moment here, but sometimes I'm like, yo, nah, we got to go plus ultra and like ultra? Keep going. Like we've got to go plus ultra and we've got to keep going.
You have no idea how reassuring that is, because I'm like, it's the comic book I guess the comic book aspect, like in the Deadpool movie, where he's like almost at like his wit's end and then he'd scream, what was it, maximum effort. Yes. I'm like, sometimes when I'm at my wit's end or when I'm on E or something like that, I'm like plus ultra and I'm like, all right. Yeah. I gotta get back in there. I gotta do what I gotta do, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
You're totally valid.
Yeah, you're not alone, bro. Because it's I either say we gotta go plus ultra.
Yeah.
Or one of my all-time favorite lines. It's just like right when when I'm bringing groceries, and I'm bringing groceries in the house, right before I go to pick up like 8 bags, because who's taking multiple trips? We're getting as few trips as possible, right? So I'm like, right when I go to grab the bags, it's all Father's give me strength.
Yeah. Exactly.
All Father gives me strength just right before. All right, now, like before I get tired, it's all Father gives me strength.
Yeah.
Once I'm already tired but need to keep going, we got to go plus ultra.
You start hearing
and I'm like, yeah, we've got to go plus ultra. But that show is just, it's incredible, and I got to get his name, Bakugo. I've got to get his superhero name,
Dynamite.
It's like, but isn't it like super?
It's like
I gotta get the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. Okay,
I gotta get the whole thing because his name
is so good.
It's so great, and I'm like, bro, hold on, give me one. Bakugo hero name. Great explosion, murder god, dynamite. The most incredible superhero name you could ever have,
and the most appropriately fitting superhero name.
Yes,
to him.
Yes,
that's like what's my favorite character in the show is I think his name is Tenya Ishida.
Okay,
who was in Ingenium, I think was his name. I was like, but I'm like, the superhero names in this show are great. Uravity, Bakugo's like Dynamite, I'm like, I'm like, this is all so good.
I'm like, the thought process, they took time with this. Yeah.
And it's that show holds like a special place in my heart, because like my dad's thing was comic books.
Yeah.
And by way of being his son,
okay,
I'm into comic books now.
Right.
Or I was introduced to comic books, and I fell into that world, which eventually led me to anime.
Right.
And then eventually Dragon Ball Z. And then anime became like my Marvel universe that I would share to my dad. I would share with my dad because he's not watching One Punch Man.
No.
But I am. And I'm like, I think you'd like this. So when My Hero Academia...
Oh, you have those moments too?
Yeah, of course.
You know how many times I tried to get my dad to, and I'm like, bro, I really think
this is for you.
If you gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're starting to move. I'm like, My Hero Academia. I really think if you watched
this one, this is us. These are our worlds.
Yes. Combined.
I'm like, come on, the superhero anime. Give it a shot. I feel like you already 30% like it.
Yeah.
For it to be centered around superheroes. I'm like, I feel like you're already there. A foot's in the door.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever watched.
No, he refuses. He refuses.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's all right, whatever.
Yeah.
There's gonna be something. Because there's always something for somebody.
Yeah.
Like I like with like anime specifically, like it's like I don't know where to start. It's like, well, what do you like elsewhere? It's like, I don't know, I like Dragon. So it's like, okay, cool.
There's an anime.
There's this anime.
Yeah.
You like or it's like, I don't know, you like soap operas? Dude, you should throw a dart on anything in the drama section. That'll probably help you out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's anime, but there's also genres. Like my favorite is I even though, listen, I felt like we were kindred spirits when I'm like listening to the podcast, and you're just saying you would from time to time talk about something that would tug at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
I was almost inconsolable the last 3 episodes of season 7 of My Hero Academia.
Bro.
Mind you, I'm on the clock. I'm on the clock I work a front desk job, and so I'm like in between at a gym, in between signing people in, getting them ready for class, whatever. Once they're in class,
yeah,
I'm like, unless somebody comes out and it's like, hey, like whatever, I need this, I need that, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm left alone for an hour, and in that hour, I'm like, well, in this specific instance, I'm like, oh, it's just a perfect opportunity to catch up on My Hero.
Yeah.
I got to like the last 3-4 episodes, man. I had to like, I literally at some points I'm like, nope. I'd have to like get up.
Yeah.
I'd have to go to the bathroom. I'd be like, you got to get it together. I'm like, we're at work right now, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not the time for that. Just watch it. Don't. But again, adding to the just the validity and depth of that show. I'm like, that's what I like in anime.
Yeah.
Whatever genre that is. I like when you make me feel like when I can get into the characters. But more you were saying on My Hero.
Yeah, I'm at first because you feel bad for Izuku Midoriya, because you're like, bro, like once like from the very beginning you find out like he doesn't have powers.
Yeah, he doesn't have a quirk.
He does have a quirk, and like all of your friends have it, and I'm like, bro, you're like. That's one of the beautiful things, again, like you're saying, one of the beautiful things about anime is you start to feel for the character because you're like, they make you feel for them because this guy wants a quirk not so much to have powers.
He wants to help.
But because he genuinely wants to help people. And I'm just like, and he's the one who doesn't get it. But then he finally gets this chance to get a quirk, and just his journey from learning how to appropriately use his quirk without breaking his body. Without because at first he was like doing too much.
Yeah.
And he was just, if you didn't die from the one shot, it was kind of a wrap because he would almost die from the one shot.
Everything is broken.
Yeah. Everything is done.
Everything is done.
Like, if you don't, and I'm like, bro, like, now that he's like finally learned how to do it, and then you find out that he's got access to all of these different powers now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, just watching, just his progression, his like learning him, that whole arc where he's like, everybody's trying to help him.
Yes.
And he's like, no, I got to do this solo.
Yes. I call that like his vigilante era.
Yeah.
Because he was also operating a little morally obtuse.
Yeah.
Because he was grieving, but didn't have time or allot himself the space to process these really big emotions.
Yeah.
These are children.
Hello. That's also like the part that is like kind of glossed over in like these animes.
Yeah.
Because these are kids and their villains are like 60.
Yeah.
Like you're fighting grown adults.
They're beating up adults or getting beaten up by adults frequently.
And I'm like, why is this just okay?
Yeah. Like, what did they do? They just got here.
Yeah.
Go pick on your arch nemesis.
Right. Like, you don't have anybody your age that you could be picking on right now?
Or you don't have enough control over your power to just, like, I don't know, like, tie them to a tree or something. It's like, you're a kid. Like, my beef is you just got here. You're still wearing diapers.
Right.
As where the other dude I've been fighting for 30 years now, like, friggin', he's in the way. He has to go.
He's got to go.
But it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah. And, like, that whole moment where, like, he's like, flying in the air. Mm-hmm. And they're like using their powers to get to him.
Yes.
Because like his whole class, 1A, they're collectively using their powers to go after him and get to him because he's not letting them in at all.
Yep.
But then like once they get him and he finally just breaks down, I think it's dope because I think even like the costume he had on kind of just like falls apart.
Yeah.
As they're like just hugging him. And it's just like it's letting you know that this hard outer layer that he had is just they finally gotten through, and like now they're able to like move past it, and now he's even better. Like he's even better and like more focused. Because this final battle that he's got coming.
And it's like, because when you, again, in preparation for the podcast this week, I watched so much anime in record timing. I had no idea I could do that, but like I didn't. I'm only as far as where the anime ended.
Okay.
I don't know what's about to happen next.
Me neither.
What do you think is about to happen next?
Well, hopefully they win at some point, but it's looking very bleak.
Yeah,
it's looking very bleak because all of Earth's all of the mightiest heroes are kind of just down bad.
And this is probably a silly question. You watched all of My Hero, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Not until recently, people started dying.
Yeah.
Up until like very recently in the series, it was real happy-go-lucky power of friendship. And then somebody caught their first body, and then everybody was like, "Oh my God, we're really in this." Yeah. And then just watching that shift in tone and characters, and then I'm like Bakugo. Like, not to, I guess, spoiler alert, but as famous in this podcast is spoiler heavy, so it's like we're gonna talk.
If you're watching, you
know. But Bakugo dying.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for that.
I wasn't ready for it at all.
I was prepared for that at all. I was ready for Deku to die before Bakugo died. I was ready for Bakugo to have his moment like he had.
Yeah.
But not how he had it.
Yeah.
I was ready for the reverse.
Yeah, I think Deku's gonna snap though. I think something's gonna break in him.
I think All Might's on his way out.
Oh, All Might doesn't see the end of this.
All Might's on his way out.
Because he's gonna push his body. Mm-hmm. And he's gonna, like, you think that last fight he had against All For One was the final fight.
Did it.
For him.
Right.
He's gonna pull out one more.
You think?
Yeah.
Like he's just gonna use the quirk one more time.
Even if it's not for like a full fight.
Yeah.
But he's going to use the quirk one more time.
Mm-hmm. And that's gonna be it.
And he's not gonna survive it.
Okay, cool. And that I hope that happens.
Yeah.
Cause right now he's Tony Starking it up.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, that was really
cool. I'm watching it last night. And again, I love her to death. My partner, we're sitting in like our back room, and we got like a TV set up, and I'm watching My Hero Academia, and I felt like a kid, because when All Might was like Hercules, and then the suit came in, I needed to be like tased. there was nothing.
Too much excitement.
There was nothing you could do to get me to sit down after that. I was so excited. Because I'm like, because he's been out for a while.
Yeah,
he's been out for a while, and so I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, he's fighting again, but I'm like, this is it, and I'm like, all right, this is it, but I hope that happens.
Yeah,
where we get like one more buff arm, buff singular arm All Might, and just lands a clean one, like into All For One, and then
it's a crucial one, it's a crucial one where it like shifts the odds back in Deku's favor,
right? Because right now it's a battle for time, because All For One is already on his way out, but just at a slower rate because of the rewind quirk. Mm-hmm. So it's aging him rapidly, and then eventually he's just going to disintegrate into nothing. So it's like All Might's doing a good job, because right now All For One seems to be like a little older than maybe the gang. Like Deku, like he looks like maybe about like 23 or 24 in comparison to the whatever 40-year-old he was now. So I'm like, a lot of time has went by stalling, trying to stop him. So I'm like, if we could get like one more good Detroit smash, probably get him back to like a Deku's age, and then we're gonna get the big fight. Because then we get All Might the prequel. we get like an One for All and All for One.
Yeah.
Well, not prequel, sequel fight.
Yeah.
Like next gen fight. And I think that'll be sick.
Yeah.
Because Shigaraki is. He's in the way. Like,
he's really annoying.
He's in the way. Because his main purpose has been nullified by this point. He was supposed to be a vessel for All for One, and he's like, I don't want to do that, and nobody's been able to stop him otherwise. So it's like, all right, he's not an option anymore. So I guess I got to do it, and I'm like, what are we doing now? What are we doing now with Shigaraki? I feel like they should have Deku should have swept in. Given that a 2-episode fight.
Yeah, I don't think that should have been as long. He should have just like
was
quick 1-2, especially once you see Bakugo's dead. Quick 1-2, problem solved.
Problem solved. Even though I don't think Bakugo's coming back. I hope he does, but because they're in the process of reviving him.
Yeah,
but you know, crucial moment in media where the Goku and the Vegeta of the universe. Vegeta's off fighting the bad guy while Goku's on his way. Goku comes back and sees the lifeless body, whether dead or just unconscious, and snaps. That's it. And so I'm like, yeah, like Deku should have taken care of, like you were saying, Shigaraki. 1-2, boom, boom.
And then all right, cool.
Meet All for One.
Let's go meet All for One.
Halfway.
Who's next? Like one.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those. Who's next?
Yeah, literally.
Let's all right. I'm really mad now. Like
I'm really mad. You
took care of him.
You killed my best.
Who's
friend.
next?
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you, like, because you're obviously like very invested in the show. Like, how do you feel about the themes in the show? Because one of the things that really stuck out to me was like the symbol of peace, and I thought about that in contrast or in light of comic books in general and how there's always the good guy and there's always the bad guy. In recent years, they're trying to give villains some depth to their character by diving into their backstory and trying to personalize them and just getting to know the villain and not just the bad guy. I was wondering how do you feel about like that? Do you think it's like overdone by this point? Do you think it's a little cheap?
I think we've gone in the wrong. Like I think it's a bit overdone.
Okay.
I like it occasionally.
Yeah.
Where like sometimes like it worked for Thanos.
It works for Thanos.
Right. Like, and I'm just, okay, cool. Like, give them some depth, give them some feel. Like, you understand exactly why they are the way they are.
Right.
But I don't think that needs to apply for everyone.
For everybody.
Because the best part of the Joker is you have absolutely no idea why the way he is. But gosh, is he fun.
It's so much fun. All you really know about the Joker is that he's crazy.
That's it.
That's it. There's no sad backstory. Well, no. I mean, they tried to do that with like the Joker movies and the Under the Red Hood and stuff like that. Like all of those, they tried to give him a backstory. But outside of that, he's just a nut job.
That's it.
And he likes what he does.
Yes. And it works for him.
It works for him.
And I think that it could work for so many others.
Right.
But they're all, it seems like they're villains, right? But everybody just seems scared to go there.
Ah, okay, cool. Expound.
Like, using the Joker, right?
Okay.
Like, when he walked into, I forget what movie that was, when he walked into Barbara Gordon's house and shoots her in the spine.
The Killing Joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
He walks into the house and shoots her in the spine.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, whoops.
Yeah.
I did it.
Teehee.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do now?
Yeah, right.
Everybody also seems where it's like, no. I'm evil, but
this is why.
This is why. I don't want to hurt you if I don't have to.
Right.
No. Like, it never made sense, right? Villains, you're monologuing before you're trying to kill someone. Why are you giving them the time?
Right. To prepare.
To prepare.
If you were a villain, you would just
kill them.
I'm a bad guy. I'm here to do bad stuff, and if you could stop me, go for it.
Right.
But I'm not going to make that easy for you.
No. I'm going to, like, and if I have the killing blow, I'm going to make a speech.
Okay.
After I know you're dead.
Okay, cool.
Their problem is they throw the victory speech
before they win.
Before they've actually won.
Right. And it's like, what do you get from that?
No, stop. Please just stop.
No, that's totally
so fair. I'm like, if more villains would just stop being afraid to like go there.
Right.
I think if like more people would just be like, you know what? No, take it there. I promise you the people can handle it.
Right.
Like those who are watching, I promise you will understand.
Yeah.
Like we'll be okay. Well, especially if, right, they don't win in the end. Like if in the end the superhero still triumphs, cool. They're B characters for a reason.
Right.
Like taking it even way back, it's a thing if you're a Star Trek fan, unless you're the captain of the ship, if you wear a red shirt, you're dying if they leave the ship.
Okay. I've never is like My Hero Academia to me was like my thing for my dad.
Yeah.
I never watched Star Trek. Despite our dads being Is Trekkie a derogatory?
No, that's what they're called.
That's what they're called.
That's what they're called. Cool. Yeah, you're good.
I'm like, yeah, I remember them being called Trekkies when I was a kid, but I'm like, I don't know if they're like, we don't like that, man. Like that's not cool. And
no, no. That's cool, you're like, perfectly good.
But like Trekkies, but like our dads being Trekkies, I never watched Star Trek.
Yeah, like it's perfectly okay. Throw in a couple characters, give them a little bit of depth, and let them know that they have like. For example, Bakugo. Bakugo was a big blow, major blow to Deku. Right. So but it was necessary. I think that's one of the reasons I like Game of Thrones, because you never knew in any given episode who was dying.
Who was going to die. Don't fall in love with anybody.
Yes. One of the greatest things, they wrecked people when Ned Stark died.
Yeah.
Because everybody knew just at the last minute something was going to happen to save Ned Stark's life.
And this was because I haven't finished Game of Thrones, but I did watch the first season, and this was the gentleman was this the guy in the beginning? Where it was the guy
and the guy in the beginning
got decapitated.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember watching that, and I'm like, oh, somebody's gonna save the day.
Yeah. You think somebody's like at the very last minute something's gonna happen. This guy's gonna get saved, and he's not gonna die. Yeah. And then nope, swoop.
And I was like, whoa.
I think more shows should lean into that.
Yeah, dude. Wipe them out. Do it. What? You lose nothing. If we like it, we'll keep watching.
Yes.
Easy peasy.
As what happened with Game of Thrones. People like the main character of the show died, and guess what happened? People still kept watching.
Yep. Because they're like, all right. We still we're
still here.
We're in.
Because now you've killed off one of the main characters. I need to know what you're going to do next.
I see where I get where I'm following now. It's like you got it, and shows don't take chances.
Yeah,
shows don't take chances with their characters anymore, because I've been seeing like when memes came out and stuff like that. But at the end of Infinity War, when Thanos won, I was like standing ovation.
Absolutely,
I was like standing ovation. I'm like, I'm like, now we're talking. Now it's in. I hated an Endgame when they reversed it for the heroes to win, because I'm like, you guys are cheap. I'm like, you guys are cheap and you suck because you lost. But that's real.
Yeah,
it's like you're gonna lose or you're gonna die in a series, like some like one way. Like that's the reality that I crave in a series like that. So it's like I had credit, even though I've never finished it, but that's on my list of shows that I want to finish watching. But it's like I love that Game of Thrones.
Yes,
the character dies, and like, cause I'm watching My Hero, and I'm like I don't like the heroes because they're the heroes.
Yeah,
because I don't like them all. I like a few of them. I like Bakugo. I like Bakugo because he was just a little misunderstood. Like, you know,
Yeah.
he's just he just didn't have the tools to express himself, and I felt bad because the one time he was able to express himself, it was at the very end, and I'm like, that's unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you got to go with that sense of clarity about you, that sense of resolve about you. I'm like, that's a beautiful way to be sent off. I love Deku because he just wants to help.
He just wants to help.
Like everything he's gotten, everything he's worked for, and it's always been selfless. It's always been selfless. He wants to just save. And honestly, when he started clipping people, because he's like, no more villains.
No, just get rid of all of them.
You're in the way. Which I love that trope in heroes when they're like, listen, man, the whole locking them up, they keep breaking out.
They keep breaking out.
Why do they keep bringing Joker to Arkham?
Right.
Why do they keep trying that?
Why do you keep doing this if they're just going to keep coming back? No. You've got to go.
You've got to go, man. Some of them are not. Some of them are beyond retribution.
Absolutely.
And like they got to go. So when Deku was going through that phase in his herodom, I'm like, now we're getting somewhere.
Now we're cooking.
Characters are being developed.
Yes.
I'm like, we are on fire. But it's like with the villains, like I'm like, they want us to feel for Shigaraki because he's just a kid.
His parents were trash.
His parents sucked. His parents suck. I don't feel bad for Dobby.
No.
Dobby was right. Endeavor was a bad dad.
He was a horrible father.
He was a horrible father who didn't, and Dobby did not deserve to die. I'm not gonna sit here and encourage villainy, but I got him.
I understood. He was a horrible father.
He was a horrible father. All for One is gluttonous.
Old girl should have got therapy. What's her name? With the knife. Who she can like
Miss Himiko.
Himiko, yes.
Himiko Toga.
She just needed therapy.
Honestly,
at like a very young age.
Yeah.
She just needed some therapy.
You were eating people. And that's not okay.
That's not okay.
But she was.
But then,
good.
If you look at what her quirk is,
it makes sense.
It's not really her fault.
It's not her fault. That's her quirk.
It's her quirk.
Right.
Is there like, how do you know what your quirk is?
Until you just figure out one day.
Until you're just like trying your impulses.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
It's not really her fault. No. That's her quirk.
That's her quirk.
She just happened to get a messed up quirk.
Yeah, literally. And on the topic of villains I feel for, she's the only one I wished a better life for. Because she didn't deserve any of that. Her parents. Like, yeah. I'm like the only person in her life that gave her, like, that didn't look at her as like a demon or a villain or whatever the case was, unfortunately another villain being Twice, who was like, oh, you're actually, like, you're cool. I don't think you're weird looking or
I wanted better for him too.
Like Himiko, like, I'm like, you just need it. Like what she said, like in her whole dying monologue, she was like, I just wanted to be loved. I was never meant to be a villain. I just needed a hug and I just wanted to be loved, but everybody just kept shunning me and pushing me away except for villains. So I thought that this was just the path. That was like, if her mom and dad were just like, oh, this is gross, but like, and
we could work on it.
We could work on it. Like, maybe we'll just pack you raw meat for lunch or something. Like, it could have been that simple. It's like, we'll just pack you some raw stuff so you can not maybe bite people, but still get your homeschool. Don't
actually send her out to be amongst other people,
right?
Until we get this under control.
Until we understand it and then get it under control. So her parents were just bad parents. Who?
I mean, if we're being honest, same could be said for Shigaraki. He can't help his quirk.
He can't help his quirk.
The problem with My Hero Academia is all the parents are horrible.
Except Bakugo and Deku's mom.
Yeah.
Except their parents. Their parents are pretty cool. Like,
their parents are pretty cool.
Like,
but mostly everybody else
sucks.
Your parents suck.
Like I'm watching a like, you know, the touching moment when Endeavor is holding the carcass of his lifeless son and apologizing to everybody. I'm like, you're too late, Bucko, and I'm glad you're not my dad.
Like, what are you doing, bro? You're way too late.
You're way too late. You killed him already. This was supposed to be 30 years ago when you were too prideful and threatened that your son was stronger than you.
Because that's literally all it is.
That's all it was.
Is that was your problem, bro? That all of your kids
had stronger quirks than you, and that you were not All Might. Get over it. Be a dad. Be number 2. Number 2 is fine.
It's fine.
It's the closest thing to number 1 than anybody else in your roster is ever going to get. So why don't you just be a good dad and help out All Might? Maybe All Might would still be here if you weren't such a jealous jerk.
Right. And you're like, Dobby would have never been
evil. Like, you probably would have.
Your wife wouldn't have been in a mental institution.
A mental institution. You put your wife in the hospital. Like I'm like, you suck.
Like, you are horrible.
You're more of a villain than Dobby is.
And I'm glad that they actually kind of showed you that.
Yeah.
That, like, hey, you think he's good.
Right.
But no.
Right.
No.
And what I like is he was never forgiven. I hate the trope of when somebody apologizes.
Yeah.
The person whom they wronged is like, I forgive you. It's okay. No matter how heinous or egregious of an act as it might have done.
Mm-hmm.
He Endeavor reaped every bit of what he sowed in the position he sacrificed everything for. And I'm like, I loved watching him getting what he deserved in that regard. Because it's not like he got the number 1 and died immediately. It's like, no, he became number 1 and everything started to fall apart.
Everything went to crap.
Right in his hands.
Yeah.
Within his family and within the city. Everything, it's like, oh yeah, you're really not All Might, brother.
Yeah.
All Might would have had.
He'd have had this locked up already.
All Might would have had this on go immediately. You wouldn't have been able to get All Might out the door quick enough if this was an actual situation that needed to be handled. Endeavor got all the accolades, but just had none of the capability to deal with the situations that he had to deal with.
Yeah, because again, the difference between and I love, we could even take those parallels, right? From All Might and Endeavor to Deku and Bakugo.
Right.
Because whereas All Might was a hero because he just wanted to help people.
Right.
Endeavor wanted to be the number 1 hero.
Is as poetic. I couldn't have put that.
Deku wants to be a hero to help people.
Right.
Bakugo just wanted to be the best hero ever, the number 1 hero.
He wanted to be the number 1 hero. And it's like, look at where greed gets you.
Look at where it gets you, guys.
look at
in every aspect, in every example.
Yeah. Like, it's insane. Even though in All Might and Endeavor's case, All Might, it's very fortunate that All Might wanted to help people.
Yeah.
And him also being the number 1 hero because he was capable. But it's like in Bakugo's sense, Bakugo and Deku's sense, it's like Bakugo, very capable. Yes. Very, very great hero. Just you're focused on the wrong thing, Bakugo.
Yeah, you're
like,
very focused on the wrong thing.
It's like it's like, what else do you want past the cool suit? And maybe you being on a card. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to genuinely help people. It's like he always strived to just strived to beat Deku because Deku was in the way. And it's like, Deku's your friend, dog.
He's your friend, but
he's helping you out right now, because you're getting your butt kicked by a common enemy.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting your butt kicked, Deku's helping you out, and you're like, you're in the way, man. And it's just like, no, man, come on. What's your thought process like? The thought process into being a hero. Like, it's like, are you doing it for the wealth, or are you doing it or are you doing it to help? Like, yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting, like, a lot of the topics, or it's a lot of, like, the philosophical questions that can arise from something as simple as, like, My Hero Academia. Because we're not watching it how a 7-year-old is watching it.
No, not at all.
I'd prefer.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to be a 7-year-old watching that show. Because I'm watching the monologue the monologue in the flashback of young All Might with the first One for All quirk user. Mm-hmm. And he's giving his monologue of how I want to help and I want to be the symbol of peace. And I'm like, one of this, one of that. And I'm like, what is peace? Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you to enforce it? Who's in the right here? And then I'm like, what's going on? And then I spiral and then I'm just like, I wish I could just watch some of these shows just a little brain dead.
Yeah, and just be like, he's really cool.
He's really cool. These are pretty colors, man.
Yeah, these are kind of amazing.
I'm having fun.
Yeah.
You're
not trying to think philosophically.
I'm not in an existential crisis.
Yeah. No, I get that. It definitely is something that it's good.
Of course.
Because you gotta love complex television in like any form, but the fact that these are, cartoons, as they say, children's shows, and then you watch them and they're actually like presenting these to you,
right?
And it's just like, what do you do now,
right?
Like, and I'm like, no, you should watch some of these shows because of like these moments. I'm like, it's not just he's the hero, he's the villain,
right? No.
Villains doing villain things, heroes doing hero things. I've got to stop you. That's it. No. These guys are going through it.
These guys are going
on both ends.
On both ends. Like going through real world, like real life emotions and feelings on both ends.
Yeah.
And it's like almost all the time. And it's like at some point I'm like, take a break, dude.
But they can't. That's one of the things, because it's like as soon as you find a solution to one problem,
arises
here comes another problem. Mm-hmm. It's just like, so what do we do? Because it was like one of the shows from like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, okay, cool.
Soon as he beat Kaiba, here comes Pegasus.
Right. Yeah.
He beats Pegasus, and then what's the name does Battle City. Kaiba does Battle City, and here comes Malik.
Right. It's like, why?
It's like one right after the other.
It's like, why are villains so easily inspired?
Right.
It's like, why are bad guys? Why is wrongdoing so easily influenced in these shows? That it's like, why can't we just get the one big guy and then there's like some peace for a while? Because I get it, like, and that's another topic. Like, they say that conflict amongst humans is in our DNA.
Yeah.
So there's always like this idea of world peace, and bringing it back to My Hero, but in All Might's sense, it's like I want to be peace. I want to be the symbol of peace. I want to bring peace, and I went as far as to Google it, but it's like peace, freedom from disturbance, tranquility.
Right.
Tranquility defining as calmness. It's like and then like anybody else, it's like, who the heck is this guy?
Like, who is this guy to decide what that is for us?
Because now here you go destroying half of everything in way or by means of enforcing your idea of peace. It's like, no, you're the like, and now it's like you're the problem, and then conflict arises, and then it's the vicious. It's a
very vicious cycle.
And it's like, and then it's like at some point it's like, who do you root for? And then just stand 10 toes on that. Like I was very happy with that. I was like, Thanos was onto something.
Listen, I've always said it. His methods were a bit extreme.
I don't like how he did it.
But he wasn't wrong.
I like what he was going with.
Yes. Methods extreme, not wrong.
Not wrong.
Killmonger, extreme.
Extreme. I was on his side.
Not wrong.
I'm like, where have you been?
Where have you been?
Cousin? I got your uncle in here.
And
a drug dealer. Apparently Wakandan royalty. He's your dad's, he's your uncle. He's your dad's, the king of Wakanda's brother. But we're over here in Oakland struggling. And
you're just like, nah.
It's like, yeah.
What was I watching the other day? And I think it was Age of Ultron.
Oh, I haven't seen that one in a while.
I was watching Age of Ultron. Yeah, because it's been on a lot on like Stars lately. So I was watching it the other day. And I'm just like, yeah, Age of Ultron. They're fighting in Africa.
Right.
And you're just like, now we're good. Just gonna sit back.
If it becomes an immediate threat to us, consider it handled.
It should have been, because remember, they were fighting.
Yeah.
The boat that they ended up fighting on, right? That's so much not really like major news, but sure, it was the Hulk fighting. That was when we got to see the Hulk bust the armor and he fought the Hulk.
Okay, yeah.
But a large shipment of vibranium had just been stolen from Wakanda.
You don't think at least you want to send the Dora Milaje to try and retrieve something from somebody?
No.
And then maybe if they get caught up in the midst of a Hulkbuster Hulk fight,
yeah,
or an Ultron whomever fight, lend a hand.
You don't think, that's something that needs to be settled?
Right.
Especially because I'm like, you've got your wall dogs apparently. I think you should call them all back because they're clearly not good at their jobs.
Right. And I'd go as far as like, if you're so reclused, how I guess, like, in some ways, I guess you could paint Black Panther as some way or not villainous. Because how do you let all of this wrongdoing transpire?
Mm-hmm. And you do nothing.
Even if it directly pertains to your environment, as vibranium is being stolen from your land, the land that you keep so secluded because it's precious and valuable, which it is. All of that is true, and you have every right to protect your land. But it's like, how heroic can you be if you let all of this transpire?
Yeah.
It's like, you're not. I'd get it if you were a celestial. It's like you're kind of just a guy in a cool suit who has all the power and all the resources to reverse everything 3 times over.
Because it's like, bro, from the people who, love to do the numbers in the comics, the Wakandan Empire makes Tony Stark's money, look like a kid with a piggy bank.
Right.
So if you are that rich,
what do you do with all of that? It's like,
you've got the money to spare.
2 times over.
2 times over.
If you're making Tony Stark's money look like,
and you don't even have to, like, kid money, like lunch money.
Right.
Then what you could even do is, the medical advances.
Right.
Because if you go to that movie, what was his name? Everett Ross. When he got shot in the back.
Okay.
All they did was put a Kamoyo bead in there, and he was able to survive the trip to Wakanda.
Right.
Let me see him make that trip if you don't have that Okoye bead in his back. Like, just from a medical standpoint.
Right.
And his recovery time was like next to nothing.
Next to nothing.
And y'all just sitting on that technology?
Yeah, keeping it amongst themselves.
Keeping it amongst yourselves? You are the villains.
You are the bad guys.
You are the bad guys.
You are the bad. Meanwhile, Captain America's over here doing union work.
Hello.
With some blokes. And he's got his uniform. He's fresh off of beating up a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, the boys need some work. The boys need some help. I'm going to pick up a couple of cement bags because I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let these guys kill themselves when I am literally capable of carrying 16 cement bags on one shoulder.
On one shoulder and being okay.
And a shovel in the other. Let's get to work, boys. I got you. Yeah. Like, come on, man. It's that easy. Tony Stark, too. But Tony Stark at one point kind of became a villain, so.
Yeah. He was, we could argue that he was a villain at the start.
Yeah.
Because the Jericho missile, though cool, was
meant for
problematic.
It was meant for harm.
Yeah.
Like mass harm.
Mass harm.
Yeah.
Like, though cool.
Yeah.
Like, it took a life-altering moment
for you to
go, you know what? I don't think I should be doing this anymore.
Right. Maybe I shouldn't be making weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
And selling them off for profit so I can be cool in a new Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you're kind of, you suck too.
Yeah.
Reed Richards sucks too. All the smart people in Marvel, I noticed.
Yeah, they're not good people.
They're not good people.
They're not good people because apparently you can be smart, but you can't be smart and a good person.
Which I love that. I love because I love the villain because I if we couldn't tell, I love a good villain.
Oh, same.
I probably love a good villain more than I do a good hero.
Yes.
Because it's everybody. It's easy to be the hero.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when a villain's good. Like when a villain is good, it's like ooh, it's like shiny. It's like what's that? So when the fact that Reed is in comic books, recent comic books and recent stories, virtually unstoppable because he's the smartest man alive and the most willing to do anything. I'm like, this is a lot of fun because now what are you guys going to do? Same reason I like Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom, even though he's not really a villain or a hero, he's what my dad would refer to him as a megalomaniac. Somebody who's just bent on world domination and will get to it by any means necessary, either being a bad guy or being a good guy or being somewhere in between those two, right? It's like I like Doctor Doom for that because he's the villain where it's like we kind of really don't want to mess with that guy because if we do, it's like can we really stop him?
Yeah.
Like Doctor Doom becoming the Sorcerer Supreme because they were out of options in the comic books. It's like that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
man. I'm like, all right, I'm on Doom's team.
Right,
whatever team he's on,
I'm with him.
I'm with him. So like when like Reed becoming a villain in Marvel Universe because science and all of that, they like to paint a little morally obtuse, whatever. Sure, but Reed becoming a villain, becoming the Maker. In recent stories, I'm like, because now you guys are scared, and I kind of like watching when the heroes. I like watching the heroes be scared.
It's like, what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? Who are you gonna turn to? Doctor Doom? Is he gonna? Can you rely on him? Like you guys are out of options. He's wiping out.
That's why I'm very intrigued. Bring this all back to Marvel and Doomsday and how this is going to all play out.
Right. I'm speculating there because there's this story in the comics, although I've never read it, but I follow like a bunch of like comic book pages and stuff like that. So there's like a bunch of shows, like just a bunch of channels on YouTube and stuff where it's like people read off the comic books and analyze them and stuff like that. So by way, although not physically in my hand reading, it's like I've gotten the story.
You're getting the knowledge of the story.
I'm getting the knowledge of the story. And there's this story where it's in the multiverse where Doctor Doom and Iron Man are essentially like college roommates.
Okay.
And Tony Stark is smarter than Victor Von Doom. And so what Victor Von Doom does is that he tricks Tony Stark into helping him out with this mind swapping device or something like that. And so essentially Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom because it's Victor's mind in Tony's body, and Victor Von Doom becomes Iron Man because it's Tony's body and Victor Von Doom's. So when I saw Robert Downey Jr., I'm like, oh, that's Iron Man. But under the Doom mask, I'm like, oh, okay, this might be the story that they're going with.
Oh, see, that would be interesting.
That would that would be cool. But then now I'm like, that kind of might be in the mud because they're bringing in all the forces.
Yeah,
they're calling all the Avengers,
calling everybody
East,
in
North, South, East, and West, and the X-Men. I'm like, which honestly is the type of threat that Doctor Doom is. So
yeah,
I'm like,
so it makes sense because you need all the help you can get.
You need all the
because he's not somebody to wipe your nose at. He's no. You need all the help you can
in multiple universes.
Yes,
it's like you need to be prepared,
especially if it's Von Doom and he's got Battle World with him. Then you need help, and then that help needs help.
Yep. And again, I guess back on the topic of the Marvel movie, I'm really excited for this Doomsday movie to come out.
It should be fun. Yeah, definitely. But this was fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and in true true Huggins fashion.
In true Greg.
In
true Moe and Greg fashion.
Yes.
This can't help but be a 2.5
hour episode. A 2.5 hour episode, which is, listen, I'm here for it. I'm okay with it. This was amazing.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun doing this. I think we should do it again.
Definitely.
I definitely think we should do it again.
You got my schedule.
Yeah.
My schedule, which, glory be to God, is consistent.
Yeah.
So Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I did my grocery shopping before I came here.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's it. After this, I'm going home.
Nice.
And I'm gonna play Last of Us 2 and kick it for a little bit.
Kick it, yeah. But yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So this was awesome. And until the next one, we are out, y'all. All right.